This is the DiPietro and Rothenberg podcast. Listen live weekday mornings from 5 to 8 a.m. on 98.7 ESPN in New York, the ESPN app, the TuneIn app, or on your smart speaker by asking it to play 98.7 ESPN. This is DiPietro and Rothenberg.
Back to throw Wilson from his own 15-yard line. Lobs one, left sideline. It's going to be an interception. Interception number 4.
When you have a rookie quarterback, it's okay to play a boring game of football.
I felt like there was a lack of rhythm, and I think it's obviously because when your first 2 passes are interceptions, it's tough to find that rhythm.
Home opener against Bill Belichick, that's not a great situation for him to go out there and start throwing the ball around and not taking checkdowns and everything else.
We got to start better. I got to start better, and then really we just got to execute, goes across the board, and it's on my shoulders. I got to do better.
This is DiPietro and Rothenberg on 98.7 ESPN.
All right, the big 7 o'clock hour, DiPietro and Rothenberg, presented by Progressive Insurance. This is a big hour for you. Do you feel like you have a lot of juice left?
I got plenty of juice.
A lot of gas in the engine?
As much as you need from me.
Okay. All right, because we're going to do Jets now, and then we're going to do the Frenzy, and then Rex Ryan, and then Santi's going to give out 3 stars. So there's a lot to be done in this hour.
I'm good. Let's go.
All right.
Your Jets, I'm fully loaded.
Your Jets stunk yesterday. They really did. I mean, that was no birthday present they gave you. You turned 40 yesterday, and they made sure to ruin your special birthday.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It was not great. But again, I mean, going into that game, I mean, Bill Belichick, rookie quarterback, you don't love your chances on top of the fact that, I mean, the Patriots had beaten the Jets, 10 consecutive times going into that game yesterday, make it 11 now. I mean, it's, especially early on, I mean, you sit down, you get comfortable, you turn the game on, I'm excited. Mac Jones going up against Zach Wilson, and before you know it, it's, I mean, hell, before we even got the ball, you're all amped up, defense comes out flying. It looks like Marcus May strips the ball away from Bourne, and you're like, okay, here we go. And then no, referees blew it dead.
And that's always good. They can always go with that, right? Like it's clearly a fumble, and they say, well, we blew it dead, so his momentum was stopped, and we're not going to let it count.
Yeah, awful call.
I don't know. It feels like such a cop-out, doesn't it?
No, I hated it. Awful call. So I'm already in a bad mood. And then we get the roughing the passer. And then, luckily for us, May gets the sack on Jones. They're out of field goal range. Okay, here we go. Defense did its job. And then, good run. Okay, we'll take it. Maybe let's establish the run. Let's protect our young quarterback. Boom. First throw, interception. Second possession. Good run. Second throw. Boom. Interception. And at that point, it was like, oh, you got to be kidding me right now. You have to be kidding me. So it ends up being 4. You miss a field goal. A couple turnovers on downs. I mean, the Patriots get 19 points off of turnovers. I mean, you're not going to – I don't care if you have a rookie quarterback, a quarterback in his 3rd year, 4th year, whatever it is, 10 years. You turn the ball over that many times, you're not going to win.
Yeah, and you have to do a better job. It's kind of been our theme of the day here. And 800-919-3776 if you want to get involved in the conversation. I'm sorry. If you're LaFleur and you're solid, you got to do a better job. You can't put your kid in that kind of a situation over and over and over. And you say, well, what are you looking for exactly? What would you like to see? What New England did. That's what I'd like to see. Like some checkdowns, easy throws. He's very mobile. He's very athletic. Get him out on the edge. Little throws to the running backs and the tight ends, and easy plays to the receivers. That's what I want to see. I don't see this kid taking huge shots downfield over and over and over. Be conservative. Take it easy. New England's offense is not great. If you don't turn the football over, that's probably a 1-score game yesterday.
No, but I think you saw that though. I mean, you got to not only do you have a rookie quarterback, you have a rookie head coach. And more importantly, in that situation, for what we're talking about, you have a rookie offensive coordinator as opposed to Josh McDaniels and Bill Belichick. I mean, you saw the difference between Mike LaFleur and what Josh McDaniels did with his quarterback, with Mac Jones. I mean, the leading receiver for the Patriots was James White, their running back. They got 2 good tight ends, and, he spreads the ball out. He doesn't make mistakes. He takes the checkdowns when they don't ask him to do too much. I mean, it's not just Mike LaFleur, don't get me wrong. I mean, Zach Wilson has to be better. He has to make better decisions. But you knew going into that game, like, I don't coach football. You don't coach football. But you know going into that game what Bill Belichick was going to do to your young quarterback. He was going to take away his number one option, which is Corey Davis, which is what he did. And Zach Wilson trying to throw to Corey Davis early in that game got himself in trouble.
But why not be conservative? Why not just say, you know what, we are not going to let Zach Wilson blow this game for us. Like, we might lose it, they might beat us, that's fine. But we're not going to finish this game and look at the stats and be like, God, Zach was dreadful. He really struggled. And that's exactly the situation you put the kid in yesterday.
It's exactly what you did. And you actually, for the most part, you ran the ball pretty good, especially early in that game. That's, again, you saw one team that's really well coached with tons of experience protect their young quarterback. And then you had the Jets went out there, and I think it was a combination of both Mike LaFleur and Zach Wilson, try to do too much, home opener, probably a lot of nerves, and, made mistakes. Big mistakes.
A lot of mistakes. Continuous mistakes. In fact, Saleh, after the game, discussing Zach Wilson, saying, truthfully, he was just off most of the day. He really struggled the entirety of the home opener.
He was off a little bit. First one over the middle to Corey. Obviously, tip ball and man coverage with pressure in his face. Second one on the boot, a little bit high drop. Third one, I believe, was to Elijah Moore. He didn't put the zip on the ball that he needed to. And then on the last one, just, it's second and whatever down it wasn't forever. You just got to take checkdowns, take yards, concede the series darn near, and you throw one up, and odds are that's what's going to happen.
I wonder if there's a conversation, and maybe the K Show will ask today when Saleh joins at 3:30, I believe, is when he joins every week, of did you try to tell him to do that? I wonder if they told him, just be very careful, very conservative, take the check down, don't live to see another day. And on his own he was doing that, or that wasn't a conversation they even had?
I would hope there was a conversation that they had. What frustrates me about that clip is that, that's the head coach. Coach Saleh is in charge. Like, I get Mike LaFleur comes up with the game plan and he's the one calling the plays. But we've seen it. Like, head coach has final say, like, hey, this is what we're trying to do today. Is they have a rookie quarterback as well. Like, I know everyone's talking about Bill Belichick and his success against rookie quarterbacks. Guess what? I was a pretty damn good defensive coordinator with the Niners. Like, I know that we can give this young quarterback some trouble. So let's make sure we don't make any mistakes. Let's, run the football, and let's play good defense. Let's at least give ourselves a chance. Because at no point during that game did it feel like the Jets had a chance to win that game.
Well, because they didn't. They never did. You watched the entirety of the game, and you never felt like the Jets had any realistic chance to win that game.
No,
and that's against a rookie quarterback on the other side of things. It's not like they came in with a 15-year veteran.
Yeah, but see, that was one of my biggest takeaways, Dave, is that, that team is, you start going through the list of teams with the best, offensive skill players. the Patriots aren't at the top of that list, not even close. They got some good players. John O. Smith's a good tight end. Hunter Henry's a good tight end. But wide receiver-wise, Kendrick Bourne doesn't scare you.
Nelson Aguilar doesn't scare you. None of their guys scares you.
No, they got good running backs. Harris is a good running back. James White catches the ball to the backfield. They're having offensive line issues, too. Right? They're dealing with injuries on the offensive line.
Their best offensive lineman didn't play yesterday.
Exactly right. And they found a way to protect their young quarterback. But I will say this, too. It's on Zach Wilson also. I'm not going to sit here and not blame Zach Wilson because I've been in his shoes. And coaches have told me, hey, listen, dummy, keep it simple. Don't try to do too much with the puck. And guess what I do? Try to do too much with the puck and make mistakes.
Well, it's hard in the heat of the moment, right?
It's part of the learning process because you feel like you want to go out and do whatever it takes to help your team win. And in doing that, you start forcing things and you make mistakes. But he'll learn. And I think the point you made to start the show was a great point. And, hopefully people heard it because they were up with us at 5 this morning, is there's no excuse not to have a veteran quarterback as your backup. None. You weren't strapped financially. Like, there's no excuse to not have a veteran quarterback on that sideline.
It's puzzling is what it is. It's puzzling. Because you know what? Yesterday, getting hammered in that game, that's the game that you run out the veteran quarterback. You're getting beat up. You're not competitive. Your quarterback looks like the moment is too big for him. You know what? Let the veteran come in, take a series or two, settle down the young kid, teach the young kid, and then you can get Wilson back in. Or maybe you don't. But to have no one, I think that's malpractice if I'm the Jets.
Yeah, but I'm not even saying to go spell him for a second. I'm not even insinuating.
I know what you're saying. You're saying that he can bounce ideas off of him just to comfort him and explain to him the game and what to do and what not to do and how this works.
Exactly. What'd you see? Like on that interception that he was, the pass intended for more. It's like he didn't even see the coverage. Like it was an awful interception. It's like he didn't even see J.C. Jackson. Like he just threw it. So you get back to the sideline, veteran quarterback. Hey, what'd you see? Well, I saw this, and this. Well,
yep.
I mean, this is what Bill Belichick is trying to do. This is what the defense is trying to do. I'll tell you what, I can't even tell you how many head coaches and goalie coaches I had with the Islanders. All great guys, all really good coaches. I learned the most from the veteran goalies I played with, from John Van Beesbrook, from Wade Flaherty, from Gar Snow, from Mike Dunham. Those guys, because they've been there, they've been in your shoes, they see the game the same way you see the game. That stuff is
it's invaluable, huh?
It's invaluable, man.
Yep.
It's just because, like, it's easy. Like, you've done media for the Hurricanes, right? You go sit in that press box. You never played hockey in your life. You feel like you go out there and score 50 goals. You stand on a bench. It looks different. All of a sudden, now you've been in my shoes. You've played my position. You know exactly what I'm dealing with.
Thanks for listening to the DiPietro and Rothenberg podcast.
And welcome aboard.
Catch the show on demand wherever and whenever you want. Just subscribe to us, rate us, and review us wherever you get your podcasts. It's time for a frenzy. A football frenzy.
You could say that 10,000 times and it still wouldn't be enough.
It fires me up, man.
I love it. Say it one more time.
A football frenzy. Any team, any player, any question.
Oh, go is right. DiPietro Rothenberg presented by Progressive Insurance. You ready for this frenzy?
I can't wait for it.
This is your first frenzy in your 40s.
It's why I wake up. Like Nick Saban wakes up so we can have the Little Debbie's oatmeal cream pies and some coffee.
Uh-huh.
I wake up on Mondays for the frenzy.
For the frenzy. Friday's frenzy as well. All right, you know how it's played. And if you don't for some reason, let me bring it to your attention. You get right into it. Just you hear your name and where you're from, and you ask your question. We answer, and we go to the next person over and over and over. And if you don't, Santi, what happens if they met? Yeah, big
Hey, what's up?
buzzer.
It's Jerry.
Exactly. Don't do that. Nobody cares. Let's go. Brian Bergen, you're on the frenzy.
What do you think the future 3-0 Broncos' chances are of winning their division?
The division?
That's so disrespectful. So disrespectful.
Well, he's taking a shot at you, and then he's thinking about winning a division over the Chiefs. So
Put him on the list. What was his name? Put him on my list.
Brian
RJ's
Bergen.
at the top of it. Dead to me now.
Brian and Bergen, dead to you. Let's go to Keith in the car. Keith, you're on the frenzy.
More of an immediate concern, Giants offensive line or Giants defense?
Defense.
Yeah. Let's be fair. The offensive line was not bad the other night.
The defense has been the biggest surprise to me.
Yes, because it should be better, and it was better.
Especially the secondary. What happened? What's going on with James Bradbury right now?
He's putrid.
I heard an awful take this morning. Awful take this morning.
What was it? What do you mean this morning? When did you start? Our show starts at 5. When did you hear this take?
I'm up at 2. I was up at 2 because there was a lot to get to this morning, and I was listening to everything. I was reading everything. It was you can't call design runs for Daniel Jones. You just can't do it. What do you mean you can't do it? Do you want him to be good or do you want him to be just a guy?
Well, first of all, you did it, and it was so successful. Why would you not do it?
I have no idea. So he doesn't get hurt, I guess. Well, I mean, I'd rather risk him getting hurt than the other option, which is he's just not good.
Right, or just lose games. That's a terrible take. Let's go to Chris and Beth. Ugh, so turned off by that. Chris and Beth Page, you're on the frenzy. Chris.
Which NFL coach sits on the hottest seat?
The hottest seat?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Is there anyone right now that you look at and you just say, God, it's scalding hot for that person?
Scalding hot seats?
Yeah, I mean, does that exist right now? You know what? I think
say
not
Nagy
that I think he's going to get fired. Yeah, Nagy. How about Mike McCarthy?
Yeah, listen, I'm telling you what. Now, watching that Hard Knocks, it did not seem to me, and I could be wrong, that Dak Prescott loves his head coach by any stretch.
I don't know. I have no idea. It didn't look like
in Denver.
Didn't look like he's in love with
them. Start though.
But hottest seat? I mean, I'm just trying to think. Who's on a hot seat right now? How? I don't know that he's on a hot seat, but he might make the seat hot himself. That's Urban Meyer.
Zimmer. And Mini.
Yeah, and they're 0-2. But he's a good coach.
No, I think he's a good coach, too. But, I mean, that's... I'm sitting there, and my father-in-law was like, oh, it looks like Minnie's going to win. I was like, nah, not... Wait a second.
Yeah, not so fast. We know
not
the way
so
their
fast.
field goal unit can be. All right, so far so good on the frenzy. Paulie Wantagh. Paulie, you're on the frenzy.
So every single thing that could have gone wrong for the Dolphins yesterday went wrong. Tua, whether he's hurt or not, is not nearly what Justin Herbert is.
Paul, I mean, for God's sakes. We discussed it 50 times. It's quick. It's in and out. We're not looking for your opinion during the call. Thank you for playing the buzzer, Raymond.
Dolphins get what they deserve.
Difficult as I can be on you, that was very well done by
Sociopaths.
you. Patrick in Massapequa. Go ahead, Pat. You're on the frenzy.
Should the Cowboys move on from Ezekiel Elliott and trade him and get draft picks and use Tony Pollard?
What do you need draft picks? What do you think Ezekiel Elliott is bringing back on the open market?
I think you just got to realize that Ezekiel Elliott, I mean, Santi, let me ask you, because when I watch these Cowboys games, Pollard looks more explosive than
he is. He's the better running back now.
Pollard looks more explosive in the role that he's using him. I guarantee if you make Pollard your lead back, he's not going to look like he looks right now. What they're doing right now works just fine with me.
I think you got to realize. I mean, the second they paid Dak all that money, you saw it before they paid him. The offense was going to be Dak dependent.
Yeah, but they ran the ball really well yesterday.
No,
and
they did.
Focused on the run.
Well, they have to, though. I mean, they got to protect their defense. They got to play complementary football. The thing about Zeke that doesn't show up on the stat sheet, and Santiago can correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, his pass protection for a running back is
he might be the best in the league at it. The thing with the Cowboys offense is that they're built to attack what the defense gives them. Tampa wanted to stuff against the run, so they had to attack them through the air. The Chargers had the two deep shell and say, okay, we're going to dare you to have long drives and run the ball on us, and that's what they did.
All right. So, I mean, that's, again, that's how it should be, though. It should be game plan specific.
I mean, look at Santiago breaking down the Cowboys. I mean, he's just been waiting for this. When will they ask me?
Santi was an excellent high school football player, believe it or not.
No, I believe that. I actually do believe that. He was a big-time player. Let's go to Tony in Lodi. Tony, you're on the frenzy.
Dave, friend of Jerry's.
Come on, Santiago.
The Houston
Santiago. I mean, for God's sakes. I mean, give me a break. That guy, he wanted the gong. Like, he walked in thinking, you know what, I don't have a question, gong me immediately.
Jerry must be very popular.
What happens now in Houston with Tyrod Taylor being out? Like, what happens with Deshaun Watson?
They're not going to play Watson.
I know.
They have the other kid that they're going to play now that I never heard of.
Mills.
Yeah.
They drafted him. I know that. But, I mean, why is he not on the commissioner's exempt list?
What is their rationale for not playing him right now?
I don't think they want him to get hurt, and he doesn't want to play for them.
But is there a reason that they give?
No, which is, I don't know, does the league told
weird,
him, you don't want him playing? If that's the case, then why not just put him on the commissioner's exempt list?
Well, they don't need to.
No, I know, but now that Tyrod Taylor got hurt, so what happens now, Thursday night, Mills gets hurt?
He's not playing he will never take another snap for Houston, ever.
I agree with that. It's just, I mean, it's
weird.
Real awkward
It's
situation.
weird that the guy is healthy and capable and not suspended, and he won't play, and they won't play him.
Well, I can't imagine the NFL wants him playing, though, with everything going on.
I'm sure not, but still. Then put him on the commissioner exempt list. But they don't need to, so they're not going to get involved. Neil in the Bronx. Neil, you're on the frenzy.
Are the Patriots as good as they looked yesterday, or is it because they played a bad team as the Jets?
I didn't think they looked that great. I mean, they look fine. They turned the Jets over a lot. I don't think the Patriots are great. I think they're a good football team.
And I think they're a good football team.
Yeah.
It's only, I mean, don't forget, though, too. I mean, it's Mac Jones' second game. So that should get better. And then once they get Gilmore back, their defense will be...
I think they'll be good. But he says, are they as good as they looked? I mean, I think Zach Wilson made it very easy for them.
Are they as good as Buffalo right now at the moment?
What about Buffalo?
Are the Patriots as good as Buffalo, you think, at the moment?
I don't think so. No.
So, yeah, I mean, I would still think that most people think Buffalo is going to be the one that wins the division. But
I think in order, it's Buffalo, it's New England, it's Miami, and it's the Jets.
Yeah. I think that's right.
In the AFC East. Let's go to Jason in Jersey City. Jason, you're on the frenzy.
Hey, guys, is there any division better than the West this year?
We'll let that sneak through because it's a decent question, but just come on.
NFC West is the best division, followed by the...
AFC West is good.
AFC West. Yeah, those are the two divisions.
If the Raiders are good, that AFC West is really tough.
Yeah. Well, they've been good so far. I mean, their defense is much better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, they look excellent. And this is without Jacobs yesterday. But Carr looks sensational. And Waller is just a complete matchup nightmare. He really is just otherworldly. All right, Santi, blow it dead. I thought pretty good for Monday.
I thought that was solid.
Yeah. Outside of Jerry's friend.
Well, yeah, I mean, he had a good question. It's just he got excited.
Thanks for listening to the DiPietro and Rothenberg podcast.
I'll give it to you whenever you want it.
Looking for more access to the show?
Rex, how you doing?
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at DR on ESPN.
Well, you got the new podcast with Bart Scott, Organized Chaos. How is that going?
It's going pretty good, man. I mean, it's a lot of fun. You know, Bart and I have that camaraderie, together. He played for me for probably 10 years, and it's just a lot of fun. We speak the same language, and I just enjoy it. You know, we get down to business. We tell the truth on there, and have a lot of fun with it. So I appreciate the plug.
Of course, and it launches every Sunday after the 4:00 game. So let's get into it. Zach Wilson, I mean, he was bad yesterday. How much blame do you put on Wilson, and how much do you put on the coaching staff for maybe not putting him in a great position to succeed yesterday?
I think there's plenty of blame to go around. I mean, it was awful. Let's face it. But here's the funny thing, so obviously he throws the 4 interceptions, and it's got to be a record, right? For rookie quarterbacks. No, it's not. When I had Mark Sanchez, he threw 5 interceptions against the Buffalo Bills once. And here's the funny thing about that game: we take it to overtime. Like we were such a dominant defense that we still overcame it. Take the game to overtime. We're going to win it. Steve Weatherford bobbles a snap, and he throws a 6th interception. So, look, you just got to be patient. The kid makes a ton of mistakes, and just because you have the ability to make some throws, sometimes it's not the best decision to risk it. And some of this, that slogan that Saleh came in with the all gas, no brakes. That's great. When you're trying to get a job as a head coach, you can put that term out there. But the reality of it is you have a rookie quarterback, and you better get the grips on him right now. And to me, we did it when I was in, coaching Mark, and then later with Geno Smith. Like, look, it's hard to win with a rookie quarterback. It really is. And we went to a championship game with Mark. So, look, this is one game. And just flush it down the toilet, but he needs to learn from it. And coaches need to learn from it. Put him in situations. Make sure he's darn sure what he's doing back there. And I think that's your job as a coach. But I got to tell you this. It's not – I know everybody's saying, well, panic. I heard that little intro with Keyshawn saying it's time to panic already about this quarterback. No, it's not. No, it's not. And to me – this guy, I think, has the most ability of any quarterback drafted by the New York Jets since Joe Namath. And that's my opinion. And, hey, will he be as effective as Richard Todd or whoever, this guy, that guy? Maybe not. I don't know. But I can tell you this. He's talented. And, we just got to rein him in some.
Let's get one thing straight, Rex. That intro was embarrassing. Time to panic. It's week 2. Let's relax a little bit with that.
Right.
I mean, come on. The other thing is this, though, and I wanted to, you would know, obviously, having all the success with the rookie quarterback, but what makes Bill Belichick so successful against young quarterbacks?
Well, because he doesn't just give you, he'll give you a picture and do something else. And that's it. It's, these guys have to learn on the fly. This isn't college football. College football, it's like, my God, I can go up throw for 400 yards. Okay, 300. But I'm just telling you, it's like, okay, they're going to play quarters here. Oh, they're playing cover 2 here. Oh, they're blitzing here. It's cover 1 here. It's cover 3 here. It's so obvious in college football, okay? This game, like I say, it's the men's league. These coaches, this is what they do for their livelihood. And I know college coaches do too, but it's about recruiting. It's about other things. This thing's about football, and that's it. And that's where it's like, I knew he's going to have this kind of game. If people are shocked that this guy had this kind of game against Belichick, they're crazy. All you got to do is go to your boy Sam Darnold, who now everybody thinks is a superstar. And how did he play? And this was like his third year of playing. This is not easy. Belichick doesn't make it easy. And so to me, you better have a tight game plan against them. You better know what you're doing 100% of the time, and then let it go. Like, here's your reads. And it's so funny because I remember getting absolutely killed in the media talking about. Remember, I went with that stupid red light, yellow light, green light stuff, right? Yeah, we also won a hell of a lot of football games. And to me, that if it was red light, you are not gonna risk anything. It's 100% completion, or you take off and run with it. All right, and that's it. Even dirt the ball, but you don't risk it. If it was yellow light, then, if you are, think you have your read, your proper read, then let it eat, okay? And then green light, we got to just let it, we got to zip it. And that was it, where you take more chances. But going in there, I thought it put the quarterback at ease. This is what we're looking for. Here's your read. If it's 1, 2, because everybody goes 1, 2, 3. Well, rookie quarterbacks a billion times don't get to their third read. Okay, it's 1, 2, and haul ass. Like, that's sometimes what you do. And I think with this kid, he's got the ability to make every single throw. Like, gosh, he is talented. But right now, if you expect him to scan both sides of the field, you're wrong. Make it clear. We're half field reading. Here's your triangle keys. Every route has a triangle key. Whether it's over the football, whether it's outside, right, left, short side of the field, long side of the field, in the middle, every single route combination has a triangle read, okay? Obviously, the veteran quarterbacks know exactly where that triangle is based on coverages. This kid's not there. Do you think he's there right now? It sure didn't look like it, did it? Okay, he's not there. And so you've got to try to give him a thing, and maybe it's not a triangle. Maybe here's your 2 reads. It's boom, boom, and if not, let it, then take off with it. Anything like that. Because when you run with the football, it presents problems for a defense. Okay, and so sometimes, that's what you need to do, and it just bothers me when everything is placed on them. You got coaches in here. You're going to make this guy, pretend that it's he's a 10-year vet. Then that's on you. And anytime you have a performance like this, all right, by anybody, but you got to start looking in the mirror first as a coach. What are you asking this guy to do? And then the other thing is, the kid made some mistakes, clearly. But as a coach, you start with yourself first. And that's what I did when we went in there with this red light, yellow light, green light. And it wasn't, believe me, it wasn't just me coming up with it. It was, I talked to Matt Cavanaugh's there. Matt went through this. All right, so that's going to help him. And then you had, I had Bill Callahan, some guys that I really leaned on. And we came up with this system. This is important to us. And I think if you do something like this, there's no reason why you can't be successful. Look, I like the idea. They tried to run the football. The Jets actually tried to run the football, which was, which I was encouraged with. I think their defense played better. So, to me, it's, let's just hang in there on this kid, and we'll see what happens.
Rex Ryan with us here, 98.7 ESPN. Rex, Rick and I have discussed this quite a bit, and that is there's no veteran quarterback for Zach to kind of work with and learn from. As a successful former head coach in this league, is that a mistake by the Jets to not have that guy for him to be able to lean on and learn from?
Well, after this performance, everybody's going to say something. It could be that we don't have a veteran quarterback, to tell him the ropes or whatever. Yes, you do. Matt Cavanaugh's been there for, played, I think, 15 years. He was a backup quarterback for 2 Super Bowl teams. So, and he's coached as an offensive coordinator. He coached a Super Bowl team. That's fine. You don't need to have, we got this veteran guy here or whatever. Look, we had Kellen Clemens, or what was a backup to Sanchez, and Geno Smith. I don't know who the heck the there's different ways of doing things. This kid's going to be fine if we'll let him. We're going to see if this city doesn't eat him up. I just think the noises. Look, I'm talking to Jet fans right now. I'm a Jet fan myself. All right, we just got to be a little patient with this kid. He's going to be fine. I'm telling you, this guy is an unbelievable talent. Let's just, that offensive line's not, doing a great job protecting him. Different things like that. They're all factors into it. New England's an awful tough team to play, for any quarterback, let alone a rookie. So let's just hang in there, man. This kid's going to be just fine.
Yeah, but Rex, that's kind of what pisses me off, though. It's like, you know football better than anyone. You tons of success in the NFL. I didn't play football. I played hockey. But, going into this game, just watching as much football as we watched, it's like you knew it was going to be tough. You said that. You said as much. Like Belichick against the rookie quarterback. We all get what he's going to do. He's going to show you, one pitcher and change it. He's going to take away your best option. Like, we all knew going in, like, this is what it was going to be. Like, Corey Davis wasn't going to be a factor. They were going to take him away. And yet, like, you go in there, and early in this game, he's throwing the football around. Like, Mac Jones is a rookie, too. But right. They handled Mac Jones a lot differently, I felt like, than the Jets did with Zach Wilson yesterday. Yeah,
no, you're exactly right. And that's the thing. There's some things that I took away. Like, I grew up around this game forever. By the way, I was a goalie myself.
My man.
Not a very good one, but either way, I was a goalie, played 8 years of hockey. And it's, one game it looked like, they were on the power play, and they had a 2-player advantage.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it looked like, man. And it looked like there's how many guys are playing defense out there. That's the mark of a great defensive coordinator, and Bill Belichick's is as good as it gets that way. And so I wasn't totally, I wasn't surprised. I thought he'd be seeing ghosts, and he was. But the thing is, you're right. Like, let's go into the game and take things off of his plate. That's how you can help a young quarterback. Let him settle in before you start making those throws down the field. And I think that'll help him. Mac Jones, everybody's raving about this Mac Jones kid. Did anybody think we were seeing the second coming of Tom Brady? I sure as heck didn't. Like, that ain't Tom Brady.
No.
But what they did, they were efficient enough to get the job done. And that's what it is. So, but he knows he's got a rookie quarterback, and he's going to handle him a certain way. Hell, I don't remember him pitching the ball down the field very often, especially early in the game. So just, I think as a coaching staff, like I say, hang in there, let him have some confidence, gain a little confidence, get the feel for the game, the pulse in the game, and then you can, when he has that confidence, now give him more opportunities. And instead, it just snowballed on him. 3 passes in a row were picked or something like that crazy. But, hey, I've been there, and, don't expect it to change until you change something. And I think as the coaching staff, that's what they need to do at first. Again, I'm not blaming the coaching staff 100% on this thing, but if you're worth your salt as a coach, you got to look in the mirror first.
All right, Rex, listen, we appreciate it. Go do your TV duties. We'll talk to you next week. Continued success with Organized Chaos, and have a great week. We can't wait till next Monday to have you on again.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
All right. Of course, that is Rex Ryan joining us here on 98.7 ESPN. You can save big when you bundle your auto, home, motorcycle, RV, or boat. Just visit progressive.com. So he says the backup quarterback, the veteran backup, not as big as some may think.
Well, but first, let's not bury the lead. Fellow goalie, which is,
not only fellow goalie, 8 years as a goalie.
8 years. Well, he's a big hockey fan, too, I know. I know he's got Predators season tickets down in Nashville.
Yeah. I have a buddy that hung out with him in the last couple of years, said he's a great guy.
He's awesome. He's an awesome guy. They should never got rid of Rex. Never.
I think it was time.
Nah, I don't know about that, man. You say that, but it's only time if the message has gone stale. I don't know if that was the case at all.
You could be right. I don't know. Just felt like it was kind of time for.
But anyway, to the point he made about sometimes coaches don't feel like it's that big of a deal, but I'm just telling you, as someone that went through it, high draft pick, a lot of expectations, a lot of pressure, just to have a sounding board meant everything. Like, he was Snowy was my roommate. Like, to go back to the room or sit on a plane and, like, hey,
right,
just be honest with me. Was that my fault? What did you see? What should I have done? and they know because they've been through it.
And you couldn't have that with the goalie coach.
No, I mean, because he's not. I mean, he's played the position obviously, but he's not like he hasn't played for this team. Like he's not. It's not like, Billy Smith didn't just retire a year ago. Like he's not familiar with. He hadn't played against the players that we were playing.
So
against.
you think Rex is wrong?
I think Rex has his opinion. I think maybe Zach Wilson doesn't need this. I just think to have that veteran guy to bounce things off of and everything else. And because the other thing too you have to remember is like you don't always feel comfortable being 100% honest with a coach. Right? Like you're not going to always be honest with a coach. Or like start throwing, players under your teammates under the bus with a coach. But if it's like, with your goalie partner or your backup, the backup quarterback, it's like, you'll say I'm sure at some point Sam said something to Josh McCown, that pick is, you name the receiver, hey, come on, man, he's got to be better than that.
Right. Yeah, you can be more open, more honest with a player over a coach. I would agree with that. DiPietro Rothenberg, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless, no contract and no compromise. And here's your shot right now. Let me just peruse this, make sure RJ didn't mess it up, and it looks good. Here's your shot to qualify for the Week 3 Pigskin Payout. It's your chance to play in the 98.7 Sportsbook. Ooh. And win $250 or up to $1,000 for correctly picking the Jets and Denver Broncos game. Be the first caller right now, 888-987-ESPN to qualify. We'll be selecting our winners this Friday, so keep it locked into DiPietro and Rothenberg and the Michael K. Show for your Pigskin Payout. Now, this one is interesting because did you see the number on the Jets and the Broncos this week?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
What would you think it is?
After yesterday's performance?
Yesterday's performance, Denver with another win. Defense looks good. This is their home opener.
Minus, Denver's laying 6.5.
Higher, Bob.
Higher, Bob.
Yeah.
Denver's laying 10.5.
Exactly there.
So this is an interesting conversation now.
Exactly. So now, do you go 250 plus the 10.5 or try to win 1,000 for the Jets to win outright?
You take the 250.
I think so as well.
10.5 is more points than the Jets have average scoring per game.
Yeah. And you don't like their chances to win this game.
That could be the over-under point total for the Jets, 10.5.
They have an over-under point total. I'd have to see what it is. But, yeah, it could be something in that neighborhood.
2 games, they scored 20 points.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. It's amazing in a league that is so offensively heavy that the Jets right now they're struggling to this extent.
Well, it's just it's not easy for them right now. It isn't.
Well, no, I understand. I understand why, too. Listen, he's a young quarterback. But I do like the theme of Rex telling us, calm down, people. He's going to be fine.
Well, of course. How about that promo, too? How do you run that? We'll tell you why it's time to panic?
It's embarrassing.
Are you serious?
Time to panic. It's 2 games into the season.
First of all, I
think he showed you some good things in the second half of Game 1. And you think he's the first quarterback to have struggled against Bill Belichick in that defense?
No.
Come on.
Not. That's what Bill Belichick does. What frustrates me is you also the reason why the reason why he's the head coach. Robert Saleh was a really good defensive coordinator. Why can't we be in a situation where we make young rookie quarterbacks struggle and see ghosts? Why can't we do that?
Yeah.
That's what frustrated me about it. Going in, he's going to have his hands full. He's going to be all lamped up. It's his first game at home.
It could be a long year. But there are some winnable games. I just don't know that this Sunday against Denver, and Denver is in fact one of those games. All right, Santi, we know you're on cloud 9 with your fancy Cowboys win. Give us our 3 stars.
Today's 3 stars.
All right, we'll start simple, boys. I'm going to give star number 3.
Number 3.
To Sam Darnold for taking the high road.
I've always had a lot of confidence. That's never going to change, but just finding completions and continuing to move the ball down the field is a good feeling.
He's a better man than I would be at 2-0.
He did not have confidence at the end with the Jets. Stop. He's got confidence now because he's in a good spot.
Great
Number
spot.
2.
Number 2. Happy birthday, Rick DiPietro. Age is growing old gracefully, and if Tom Brady has shown you anything, you can still be as active as you always want to be. And Drew Brees has shown you can have wonderful hair, although that's not a problem for you. So just keep doing what you're doing, buddy.
Although we do notice it's thinning. But it does look...
Why do you...
You're fine.
You're the worst. You're the worst.
How so? I'm just being honest, because people haven't seen you in a long time, and And but maybe you'll have like a Drew Brees kind of rebirth.
Can we get to number one?
Right, yes, please.
Number one.
Rex Ryan just had an excellent callback, bringing up the quote-unquote, his words, not mine, the stupid red light, green light thing that they used to do with Mark Sanchez. And that tells me, Dave, we should take that same approach with you when it comes to the show picks. Check with me, check with Rick, check with RJ. Red light, green light, whatever you got to do, make the picks properly, Dave.
Well said. I can't believe you.
You picked the only loser. Of all the games we liked, you picked the only loser.
Be like Rex. Red light, green light.
You guys are, and this is why I have to defend myself constantly. You guys are the worst. I picked one of the games that we outlined as one that we in fact like. So call me a bad guy.
The only losing game.
The only losing game. Yeah, what did we go? 5-1, and that was the loss. All right, Santi, good job. We'll do it again tomorrow. It's Rule 76.
No excuses. Plague a champion. It's DPHO Rothenberg and
everybody
on 98.7 ESPN.
Thanks for listening to the DPHO and Rothenberg podcast. Listen live weekday mornings from 5 to 8 a.m. on 98.7 ESPN in New York, the ESPN app, the TuneIn app, or on your smart speaker by asking it to play 98.7 ESPN.